On today's show, all about turkey hunting, which means all about an addiction with no known cure. Come along as we raise before dawn for the chance to talk hanky-panky with wild turkey gobblers. Will they believe it? Only the gobbler knows. And later, our Minnesota-bound classic this week is a reminder of trouble in the spring woods, trouble in the form of deer ticks and Lyme's disease. Everything you need to know is coming up. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC dealers.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show. And as you can see, Raven and I are camoed, me more than her, because throughout the country, this is wild turkey hunting time. And we have an adventure for you, going to a place maybe you least expect. It's called turkey hunting in Nebraska. It's fair to wonder what possesses somebody to stumble into wooded darkness before dawn, crossing streams and hunkering down in a pile of brush on a chilly morning in April. Some say it's called turkey hunting, but that's not the answer. This is the answer. Oh my. This is why you get up when the rest of the world is still sleeping. This is the addiction, to call like a hen turkey and have a big old Boss Tom answer. This is the thrill, to join the springtime life and times of a wild turkey, if only for a little while. Today in America, turkeys thrive in 49 of the 50 states, in regions where you'd least expect a bird of deep woods to survive, such as here, along the Missouri River Valley in northeastern Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska.
Here in Nebraska, when I was in high school, if you saw a turkey, it was very, very unusual. And they've just done tremendously well nearly anywhere where they've been introduced.
Scott Carlson has been an eyewitness to the turkey boom across the country.
In the state of Nebraska, you could kill an eastern bird, a Merriam, and a Rio. In the northeast corner where we're at, they're primarily all Rio is a species.
Turkey hunting sounds easy enough if it wasn't snowing. No, wild turkeys don't migrate south for winter like most birds, but a springtime fling, the mating game for turkeys, loses a little passion when the snow flies. Even the turkey decoy failed to inspire any urge for hanky-panky with this bunch. Alas, these are jakes, teenagers. In other words, legal but not desired. This is when even a turkey hunter questions his sanity for suffering through dawns and snow and birds with pea-sized brains. Oh well, there's always tomorrow. Coming up, we'll continue sharing the life and times of wild turkeys. Somebody set the alarm.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC dealers. Connecticut, Radco Truck Accessories, and by Starkey Hearing Technologies.
All right, it's time now to continue our turkey hunting adventure in Nebraska. We're calling, the birds are responding. Let's see what happens. There's something else you ought to know about this addiction called turkey hunting. The bird is predictably unpredictable. As two Scots, Scott Carlson of Kansas and Scott Franson of Minnesota, quickly discovered on one Nebraska morning.
We're coming down this drainage. We were going to get up on the west side of the field here. And the turkeys were here before we were. There was 4 jakes, 2 toms, and a couple of hens. They were so close I didn't dare move. I mean, they were on top of me.
Don't move is right. Turkeys have eyesight comparable to that of a bald eagle.
Let's try to drop down this hill.
Don't give up hope just yet. Remember, turkeys are unpredictable. Maybe, just maybe, looks like now or never, Scott Carlson pulls the trigger.
Hope you didn't get all that good shooting on TV. That wasn't very good. Shot over him. Yeah, at least he stood around enough for the 3rd volley. It's probably 9.5-inch beard or so. Probably a 2-year-old. Boy, we got lucky. This, I would say, is a pure Rio. Beautiful bird.
Nice bird, but the other lesson here is anybody can make a bad shot.
Now this is pretty much where we do all the packaging of our product.
In this case, Scott Carlson is a shotgunning expert and a leading maker of Carlson choke tubes.
Actually, this is our 25th year in business. Got into making choke tubes, just wanted to make something that patterned better than standard factory tubes did.
It was time to review a rule of thumb for every turkey hunter. You know, Scott, something that shotgunners seldom think about is patterning their shotgun. But you say, well, it's a shotgun, you know, you aim it and you got a whole bunch of shot going out there. Why pattern?
Well, there's a couple of reasons you want to pattern, Ron. Number one is to figure out the point of aim of where your gun actually shoots at 40 yards. Not all shotguns, believe it or not, shoot dead point of aim at 40 yards. So that's the one thing you're trying to find out. And the other thing you're trying to find out is how your choke patterns and how your load works when you shoot it. There, now look at that.
Wow, this is really revealing because you're aiming here and look where it all went.
Yeah, and you even lost some over the top of the board. You're gonna have a hard time hitting a turkey.
Yeah, so we'll have to adjust it. As you can see, I was shooting high, and so with this little sight here, I can adjust it, move the point of aim down, which I just did, about 8 inches at 40 yards, so we'll see what happens now.
Wow. See?
We're gonna have a reality check here now. I'm gonna try to set it so this is where I'd wanna aim, so most of my shot goes right here. So that's what we're gonna see if that happens. Is that a dead turkey? The answer, no. That's just a piece of paper. Coming up, a turkey hunting day to remember. Aren't they all? Stay with us.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Yard, premier manufacturers of maintenance-free outdoor patio furniture and accessories from recycled plastic.
Time now to complete our Nebraska turkey hunt. I'll say this, after all of the years of my turkey hunting, this was one of the most memorable moments I've ever experienced. Ask any turkey hunter, you go turkey hunting not for the morning light, not to pull the trigger. No, you go to be in the company of things natural. And when you have a talk with the turkey, it's even more special.
Was that fun? Now if you want to learn how to talk to turkeys, listen to the real turkey. This is why I carry a slate, because this is the only call that you can duplicate almost everything that hen does, as you heard. This is why I carry it.
Soon the conversation is over, but not soon forgotten. Once you've talked to turkeys, something else happens. You want to talk again and again. It's a drug, turkey calling is. And then, if you're lucky, more turkey talk begins for the final act in nature's show.
I've been turkey hunting for a long time. That's quite a show, though. I just had to wait and wait, see what he'd do to that poor decoy, but I think he thought he killed it. He paid no attention to this hen. Can you believe that? All he was trying to beat up on this poor old Jake here. 2.5, 3. Oh, what a beautiful beard. Oh, he's a dandy. Look at that. All right, Scott.
And now, a beautiful memory.
This is the adult female.
Coming up, what you need to know about deer ticks, Lyme disease, and how to prevent it.
We are in the top 10 of all the states with Lyme disease.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Jesse Treble Foundation Systems and Safe Basements Waterproofing, Grand Rapids Tourism, and by the Minnesota Agricultural Water Resources Coalition.
Coming up, our Minnesota Bound Classic. If you're a turkey hunter like me, one of the things you should know is you can run into deer ticks out there, and they carry Lyme disease. So what do you need to do to protect yourself? We have the answers. A Minnesota forest is not just habitat for deer or squirrels or ruffed grouse. Danger also lurks here. Not big bad bears, but tiny biting creatures known as deer ticks. Ticks that carry something called Lyme disease.
This is the adult female, the adult male, and this is the nymph.
Dr. Betty Maloney is a family practitioner and a Lyme disease expert.
We are in the top 10 of all the states with Lyme disease. It's mostly the eastern seaboard and then Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Dr. Maloney says it's important to know the difference between deer ticks and wood ticks.
If you look at the deer tick closely, the body is a nice reddish brown and there is a black cape. And in the dog tick, or what we call the wood tick, that cape is white in the female. And the body is more of a ruddy brown.
Only the smaller deer tick is a carrier of Lyme disease.
If you see a tick on you, that's great because they're very hard to spot. But you only get Lyme if the tick has been attached, and usually it has to be a minimum of 24 hours.
Minnesotans who hunt, camp, or hike in woodsy areas are most apt to run into deer ticks, but if you're a golfer, be warned.
The golf courses have a lot of deer, and so if you're in the rough, you are in prime tick country.
We cut on the wooded side back.
Minnesota homeowner Jan Thiegy has actually fortified her woodsy backyard to keep ticks out.
We saw the ticks that were pretty prevalent on our dog and on us. And then in '04, after my daughter was diagnosed with Lyme, I said, that's enough. We're going to landscape for Lyme.
After Lyme disease struck her family, Jan also became involved with the Minnesota Lyme Association.
The role of the association is to reach out across Minnesota and inform people, build an awareness about Lyme disease.
Deer ticks may be tiny, but the disease is big time.
It can make you quite sick. It can affect not only your skin with the rash that most people think about when they think about Lyme disease, but can affect your heart, your nerves, and it can give you arthritis.
While Lyme usually is curable, diagnosing for the disease can be confusing to doctors and patients alike.
Probably the most important thing to know about the symptoms is that the classic bullseye rash that everyone was trained to look for is really a rare occurrence. So 30% of the people that have reportable cases of Lyme disease, they never had any rash. Usually in the early stage of Lyme disease, you'll feel like you have a summertime flu. So you'll have fevers and chills and headaches. You feel like a truck ran over you.
Now, to avoid such a fate, if you should find a tick on you, it should be removed immediately.
The other thing I want people to do is to take that tick and put it in a baggie with a little moist paper towel or anything, because your doctor's going to want to see that tick. They want to verify that it was indeed a deer tick.
Now, don't forget to protect your dog and cat against deer ticks, as well as yourself. Now, mosquito repellents like this have DEET. DEET is not effective on deer ticks. You want to use something called permethrin. Permethrin on your clothing, it works. And one more thing, let's not let a little deer tick keep us from enjoying the woods. Well, that about does it for us. Long reign the wild turkey, and I wouldn't be so enthusiastic about deer ticks. But that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Sharon, of course, always the star of the show. I think she wants to take a nap, is Raven.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.